welcome. Today I have such a chance to have a wonderful topic about comfort zone. So please welcome on the platform TAZIM ELKINGTON. Hi,
Hi, Virginie. Nice to see you again.
Me too. So nice to see you. TAZIM, please describe us the comfort zone. What is this comfort zone we are always not able to move from and make us uncomfortable?
So, comfort zones are when we keep doing the same thing repetitively over and over. And even if it's not a good thing, it's because we know it. We know how it feels. It's more comfortable to keep doing that same thing than to try something different. So a lot of people, for example, stay in very, very unhealthy relationships. But rather than get out of the relationship, get out of that comfort zone, they'd rather stay there because it's something they know, even when it's not healthy at all, as an example.
Oh, okay.
So for example, someone has issues with anger. Rather than try to understand what is the root cause of their anger, go and get some help for it, or go and speak to someone, get therapy for it. They would rather keep getting angry over and over again because it's what they know. So comfort zones range from emotions to physical spaces to behavior to attitudes, and these keep us very, very limited in our lives. We are scared. These people are scared to experience the new stuff, to change, to look at something outside of that so-called comfort zone or comfort zones.
But is there any how to say situation in life why people don't like to get uncomfortable?
Because it's comfortable to be uncomfortable already. They're already uncomfortable in their comfort zones.
Ah, yeah, good one. Yeah.
So because they are already uncomfortable in their comfort zones,
Yeah.
and it feels comfort, but it's actually uncomfortable, they prefer to stay there because they think that the risk of changing that will be even more uncomfortable than what they're feeling in their discomfort.
Oh, yeah. And I think the fear has a big impact also on this move of changing.
Fear is one of the biggest emotions that keep people in places they can get out of. And fear, as we know, is actually not tangible. Fear is an intangible mindset that tells people that they will not be able to manage. It's like putting a 12-inch brick wall in front of you, and every time you walk, you bang your nose, you bang your head. But it's better to do that than to say that this wall is imaginary. It actually doesn't exist.
So this is the fear that really avoid us to move.
Yes.
And what would be your suggestion how to move first on ourselves, and then maybe with the help of a therapist? How can we move this wall?
So it's not easy if people have been doing the same thing over and over in their discomfort and in their comfort zones, because in a comfort zone, it's never comfortable. That's what people don't realize.
Okay.
In a comfort zone, it's never comfortable. It's a lot of discomfort, hurt, pain, sadness, anger. There's a whole slew of stuff, okay? So what people have to do is they have to dig inside and pull out their big bowl of courage, because before you can change anything, you need to have courage. And so they have to fish their courage out of the deepest parts of themselves and then to make a decision knowing that they're taking a risk. So comfort zones is also for the people staying there because they're scared of taking a risk, because they think taking a risk is going to make their life worse than it already is. So it's easier to stay in the discomfort of the comfort zone rather than take a risk and say, you know, maybe I could change, my life will change. Maybe I can become what I have always dreamed to become. Maybe I can meet someone else that will be healthier for me. Maybe I can change things about myself. But you see, people they resist self-change. You know, at this time, with all the things that are going on, therapy ought to be number one on people's lists, because every single human being has been triggered with COVID-19. Okay, there's not a single human being that hasn't been triggered either financially, for their job, or for their family relationships, because they don't know how to sit and look at each other, or for getting basics to support their families. I mean, there's so many things that people have been challenged with, okay?
Yes.
And therapy seems to be the last thing that people are even considering when there is the time, the window to say, you know what, maybe I really need to clean up my house now. So, you know, in articles and talks we've had before, I've said one of the things is to declutter.
Yeah.
Declutter your spaces, give away things you don't use, share, and, you know, just reduce the amount of things we own. And this, at the same point, really declutter your mind, because our mind tells us stories which are not true. So the mind tells you you're not capable. The mind tells you you're going to suffer more. The mind tells you you'll never make it. It's not true.
Yeah.
And this is such a good opportunity for people to actually declutter their minds as well as their spaces.
I think you have to look at yourself with truth once again and say, this is not comfortable for me. What do I want in my life? We have to ask our question, not try to survive with the environment that is not tuning with our own self.
Completely. This is the fact. And so, you know, the amount of domestic violence cases that have just gone sky high.
Yeah.
And mostly the domestic violence cases are men against women. And women don't know what to do. I mean, it's not like there wasn't violence before. It was there, but because the men weren't home so much, it was maybe at a lesser level. But once a man lifts a hand on you, physically abusing you, or verbally, mentally, emotionally abusing you, you know that this is going to carry on. It's a pattern. It comes out once and it will keep coming out over and over again. And women have to really consider that this is not acceptable. Any relationship that a woman is in, where there's any type of abuse or violence, is not healthy. But they stay there because they don't trust themselves to be able to get out and to be able to survive and to be able to take responsibility for their own lives.
And I think also, Tazim, there is a lot of issues regarding that the women don't have the comfort also money-wise to be independent. So they stay in the comfort zone, because what can they do? You know, when you dedicate all your life for your kids and you haven't worked for so many years, and then suddenly you say, but you know, if I leave, if I leave this comfort zone, what am I going to do? So it's also a big issue.
However, I think the comfort zone is about material comforts. Most women living in these kind of situations, because really, if we look at it, since the 20th century, women have been working, huh? Let's be realistic about it. Yes. So for those women who have decided or who have taken the life of being housewives between the 20th and 21st century, it was a choice. Nobody asked them to stay at home because women have been working since the 20th century.
Yeah.
So they chose that lifestyle, they chose that comfort zone of being materially provided for, and this is comfortable because you get everything you want and more. But is that all life is about?
Yeah, it reminds me the topic you gave about the new man, where we have expectation. And I think, okay, you dedicate your life for your children, for the family, but you have to be realistic and not depend too much on the husband, because sooner or late, either he leaves you, or either you want to leave him, but you don't have a work.
And I think here is something that's very important. Couples don't have discussions about money if one partner is not working. And I'm not saying that it's wrong for women to stay at home and raise their families. Not at all.
No.
I think it's highly commendable for the women that have chosen to stay at home and raise their families in the current situation in the 20th and 21st century, if they've been able to afford it. Yes, because mostly two parents go to work because they can't afford to live on one salary. All right. So if someone is fortunate enough to be in that circumstance, it's really important that the wife gets a salary for being a homemaker. And these are conversations that couples don't have. It's taken for granted that if the woman's decided that she's going to be the homemaker and taking care of the children's welfare while the man goes to work, she's due nothing. That's supposed to be her role, and that it's worth nothing. It's what she's chosen. Whereas if you really put an amount and a figure on the value that it brings for a mother to raise her children and to be a homemaker, it would be more than the man's salary, because that's the responsibility he takes. Really.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So comfort zones are when a person feels and knows that something does not feel right. Something is not okay. And yet they carry on being there.
Mm-hmm. So we need to have the courage to speak out when something doesn't work. That's the first step, I would say, before going then to a healer, a therapist, or just have the courage, as you said, to say the truth and sit and
Say
discuss.
your truth.
Yeah.
Yes, to speak your truth. So everyone has to have the courage to stand up to that person or that situation or that circumstance that is uncomfortable.
Yes.
And that is actually causing a lot of discomfort, but is stopping someone from moving forward. Yes, courage is the first thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes people have an issue even finding that courage, because they've been so scared and they're so full of fear that they don't even know how to find the courage within themselves. So this is why therapy is so important, because therapy helps people to find their courage as well, to find their voice, to find a way forward that is different from what it used to be.
Yeah, and I think also the audience, I'm sure they agree with me, that we have to speak when we have an issue with our friends, with our sister, brother, because everybody has issues in their life, but we have tendency to talk only things that's going well. We don't have the courage to talk about things that do not go well. And sometimes you can have help. It's not that it will resolve your issues, but at least you get to know that, okay, I'm not the only one. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I cannot say because I'm the only one. No, everybody has issues. So I think it's very important for the young generation also to tell them, speak, tell, do not keep it inside, right?
Absolutely, I totally agree that having discussions. I'm not completely open to people talking with everybody. I think it's important to pick selected few
Your
people that you
5
can
close
share.
friends or family
Yes,
members, yeah.
that you can share these really deep things with. Because remember, the situation you are in is your responsibility.
Yeah, this I
And so
love it. My God,
yes,
that's shaken me up, when you told me this. And it's so
it's,
true. You
it's
allow
your
the situation you are in to settle.
It's your responsibility. It's your choice that you're in this circumstance and in this place.
Yeah,
So if you don't take responsibility, because what can happen when you talk to people is that they give you wrong advice because people are not trained to be therapists.
yeah, also, absolutely. With
And
all,
mostly when you go to someone's house for dinner or lunch or whatever it is, and you see a couple interacting, you already know. You can see from their interaction whether they have issues or not. And I generally, honestly, I can walk into a space and I can pick it up like this, and they can do their pretensions and they're trying to show that everything is lovely, but it's not. And I pick it up, and if they're close enough to me, I will call them out on it and say, what's going on.
yeah,
So it's important that people realize that your life, your entire life, where you are, what position you're in, what's right, what's not right, what's working, what's not working, everything is entirely your responsibility. It's
absolutely.
not that it's your husband or your partner. If your husband is beating you, your partner is beating you, it's your responsibility because you're accepting it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's important that when people understand that my life is my responsibility, if we're all made in this image of God, then God gave us the mind, the heart, and um, the skills to realize that what is going on is not right, but we've become complacent. Human beings have become complacent. If I can get a diamond ring after somebody punches my face, that's enough of a gift to overcome the violence. This is nonsense. It's better not to have any diamonds and yet have peace of mind.
Exactly. And as you said, life is a journey, and we have to be in peace of mind when we'll get older, because everything we do not sort it out now will come up again.
Without a doubt. You will repeat it in your next relationship or in your next job or in your next friendship. Whatever's going on that you haven't resolved will keep repeating because it's a pattern until you start breaking those patterns and habits of whatever it is that's so painful.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Tazim, for this beautiful topic. Wow, it's really a big information you are giving to all of us and our audience. Thank you to all of you for being with us on a weekly basis, and see you soon. Stay tuned. Bye-bye. Bye, Tazim. And thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you very much.